here is this book in Tibetan. Okay. We're going to talk today about page 41. Now, what it is you'll have it organized. You'll have everything well organized for you to teach your own students. And I much regret that I didn't do this when the first 20 years of my education. I don't have anything organized from my Lama teaching. I much regret it. Okay, please say Shinyin, Shinyin, Shua, Shua, Shiwa, Shiwa, Nia Shiwa. Okay, we're going to talk about today. We're going to start a section which is how to find a teacher, and after you find a teacher, how you should behave towards him. Okay? And that's really the first and it's the most important step you have to take. Okay? So we're going to go over the qualities of a good teacher. What kind of things should you look for in a teacher?
When you ask accurate questions.
All right. This is very important. Okay. There are many stories of Tibetan Buddhists. There's a famous story of Adisha who brought Buddhism to Tibet. One of the people who brought it. He went on a long trip. He led, I don't know, for 6 months or a year on a ship to go to Indonesia from India, which was very dangerous at that time, 1000 AD. And when he got there, he found the Lama he was looking for. This is the Lama who was one of the last Lamas in the world who knew how to teach the Bodhisattva Vow. And he went there just to meet him. And he got there, and he didn't go to his house. He started checking around town. Is this a good teacher? Have you heard anything bad about him? What is he doing? He interviewed all his students. I think for 6 months he didn't. He checked him out for 6 months. Why? A Dharma teacher can really screw you up. All right? If he doesn't know what he's doing, if he's not qualified, he can ruin you not for this life, but for many, many thousands of years, millions of years. He can ruin you. Okay? It's a very, very delicate question who you allow to fool around with your Dharma mind. You shouldn't just go to any initiation you hear about. You shouldn't just go to any teaching you hear about. You should check out the teacher. Okay? It's a very, very delicate question. If he teaches you, for example, that something non-virtuous is virtuous, and then if you do it, he goes to hell, of course, but you go to hell too. And it hurts a lot. Even in this life, you'll start to get bad results. Okay? If he teaches you something wrong, something non-virtuous, or if he teaches you something stupid about emptiness, it's not true at all. It'll mess you up very badly. At the best, nothing will happen. And after 10 years, you say, I don't know, I've been going to Dharma class for 10 years, nothing happened. And at the worst, you'll get in big problems. You'll really have big mistakes. And you see it all the time. You see many cases where teachers have taught people that something is virtuous, which is obviously not virtuous. And then they ruin them. So,
Michael?
Yeah.
Don't you really mean a would-be Dharma teacher?
I mean a would-be. I mean a so-called
because
of course.
How could a Dharma teacher hurt anybody?
Of course. Okay, so we're going to learn tonight the 10 qualifications of a Lama. What should you look for before you go to a Lama? Okay? And the Sakya Pandita, one of the wisest Tibetan Buddhists, he lived in the 1200s. He said, it's crazy. If people are going to buy a car, in those days a horse, they check the teeth, they check the legs, they run him around, they go see 25 horses, and then after many weeks, they choose one horse, because this is all their money that they have. They're putting into this one horse. If they buy the horse and the next day they find out he has a bad leg, they lose all the money they've saved in Tibet for maybe years. Okay? But a bad Dharma teacher could screw you up for your life. It's not just your bank account. It's your mind. It's your soul. Right? Your spirit. He can mess you up. So you should take a lot more care in choosing a Dharma teacher than you take in anything. Choosing someone you have a relationship with, something like that. Nowadays people check out, this guy might have AIDS and this girl might have AIDS, I better check out. aids kill you once. A bad Dharma teaching, so-called Dharma teaching, can kill you many times. Seriously. Very, very dangerous to get into a relationship with someone if they're not qualified. So, what are you going to look for? You know, check the tires, check the carburetor. We'll make a list of 10 things that you should look for. Who wrote this list? It's from the Dodeken, Sutra Alokara. I believe that's a summary. Okay, like one of the most important early Buddhist saints wrote this. And this is quoted always in lists of what to look for.
What is the name of it?
Sutra Alokara. The booklet says 400 verses, I think. No, it does say Sutra Alokara. Yeah. I mean, if you really want to know, you're not required to know this. That's the Sanskrit. Sutra means sutra, word of Buddha. Alamkara means to make ready, which is a Sanskrit word for an ornament. Because when you put it on, you're ready to go to the party. Okay. You don't have to know that. This quotation comes from that text. That text is in the Tengyur. The point is that it's a very, very old book. It's about 1,500 years old. And it is good. It's a good book. It's right. Sangha knew what he was talking about. Okay? And
You see a Sangha wrote that?
yeah. And this is his verse about the 10 things you should look for in a teacher. What 10 things should you look for in a good teacher? Okay? Check if he's qualified or not. Because you are risking your life. You're putting your life in his hands, basically. He's fooling around with your mind. Okay? If he puts bad ideas into your mind, you will suffer greatly. It's not so bad to learn bad habits, smoking, drinking. That's one thing. But to learn wrong ideas about the world, wrong ideas about your spiritual practice is poison. It's much worse than a bad habit like smoking or drinking or something like that, because it will ruin your life. So, very, very important. Shenyan means spiritual friend, spiritual guide.
Guide or friend or both?
If both of these words are words for relative or close friend, it doesn't. Shay means like a friend, and Nyen means a relative. So it means literally your friend, meaning your Dharma friend, meaning your teacher. It's the person who you're trusting your mind to. Shenyan. Tulwa. Tulwa is the past tense of a verb that means to tame something. Like, dulwa is what you do to a wild horse during a rodeo. He starts out crazy and you get on him and you beat him and finally he's friendly.
Subdue?
You can decide.
But it's
yeah.
Subduer or subdued?
No, finished. Tamed. Subdued.
Subdued.
Controlled. The noun duwa means vinaya. Okay? That is the whole part of the Buddhist books which teach about morality, the vows of morality. Okay? In Thailand it's vinaya. Okay? Vinaya. In Thailand you have vinaya and you have abhidhamma. You have those two traditions. You're Hinayana country and you have very strong. You have those two. In your canon is 45 books, and you still have the Vinaya, and you still have the Abhidhamma. This is Tulwa. It means how to get tamed, how to get control, morality. Okay. Tulwa. Shiva. Shiva means. Do you know? Shiva. You know Shiva? Do you know Shine? Somebody was telling me this.
Tranquility.
You were studying. That's she. This is the she of Shine. This she means peace. Peace. There's another she that means to kill, to die, and they're related. That's the peace, right? No, they're related. After you shi, you shi. Shiwa. Nyer shiwa means really peaceful.
So is Shiwa peace or she peace?
Shiwa is peace. Shiwa is peace. Nyer shiwa means very peaceful. This is an advertisement for this computer project. This verse doesn't tell you much. Okay, he has to be peaceful, very peaceful, controlled. What does it refer to? So I just look it up. I have 40,000 pages in here. I just say, okay, is that verse? Does anyone discuss that verse? You went right to the Lamrim Chemmo of Tsongkhapa. And he's explaining the whole verse. Incredible explanation. So great, you know. I don't have to go. We used to have to go flip through like thousands of pages. We used to spend weeks looking for one quotation. You know. Now I just ask it. It just asked it in about 30 seconds. It came up. Here's a nice explanation by Tsongkhapa. So I can basically carry around the Kangen Tengu and all the Tibetan explanations. So we'll go through Tsongkhapa's explanation. He says, if you haven't dulwat yourself, it would be crazy to say that you could dulwa anyone else. And therefore...
Tsongkhapa commenting on this verse?
Yeah, Tsongkhapa is explaining this very verse.
Commentary on this verse.
Tsongkhapa,
so it's a Sangha being commented on by
Tsongkhapa in the Lamrim Chemmo, the greatest, maybe the greatest Tibetan book ever written. And he says, how could anyone dulwa someone else if they didn't dulwa themselves first? And he says, therefore, you should seek a lama who has dulwa himself. And if you ask me, this is all straight translation from Tsongkhapa. If you ask me, how does somebody dulwa himself? It's not enough to say that he's just done anything at all to become dulwa. It's that he has used the 3 trainings to become dulwa. And this dulwa, this one refers to the first training. Okay? This dulwa refers to the first of the 3 famous trainings. There are 3 famous trainings. We call labasum. Okay? The first one is morality. Morality. Which is basically what? What's the roughest collection of Buddhist morality ever collected? The calendar, right there. Okay? There are 84,000 bad deeds that you can do. They collected them down into 10, because we can't remember so many people. Okay? So basically, someone who is keeping his morality. So first of all, if you're thinking about going to hear a lama, if you're thinking about starting a relationship with a lama, find out if he's keeping his morality. Okay? And there's the 10 moralities right there.
This is not 45, right?
Is it?
Exceptional morality.
Yeah, right.
Trainings.
Yeah. So the first word here, the first of the 10 qualities, which means subdued, tamed, refers to the first of the 3 trainings, which is morality. It keeps his morality well.
How does this relate to the crazy wisdom of school with Dharma teacher? There's not an apparent tame behavior.
It's possible that a lama could do something extraordinary to help you, but you also have to be an extraordinary student to see it and not lose your faith and not commit a big bad deed. So better, we're normal people. We're not like Milarepa or something like that. I mean, we have to find a teacher who's got these 10 qualities. That's a normal thing. If you have some extraordinary virtue in your past, and you meet some extraordinary teacher who can read your mind, it's true, and it has happened that he smashes you in the head and you realize he's a great lama and he's trying to help him. But
Lopa and Naropa.
yeah, the normal
I'm thinking of
people, we don't have this we don't have this kind of virtue. We are not those kind of special people. And we might as well admit it. Find a plain old straight Lama who has these qualities.
So what does that mean for all those lamas that are teaching that way and all those students that are following those lamas?
Can I say something? I would assume that it's there. It's just that it's different.
By the way, you
can't see it.
We'll talk about it.
It must be there still. It just isn't as clear and straightforward and as easy as for us lunkheads, But it would just be being displayed in a different manner.
Highly obscure.
And they've set up
to us.
things that they said
That's why it's so crazy.
It'll come. It's a valid question. It's a good question.
Well, I think the question is, he's saying, can it be that some teachers don't have this? I doubt it. Even if they appear to be crazy, they would still have it.
That's true too. I mean, they might. What he says is true that they do have morality and they're pretending not to have morality. But I don't want to get into that question. It will come. It will come in tonight or next week. Promise. If it doesn't, then bring it up again. Okay, Dua. So Dua means someone who's keeping the 10 moralities. Plain old 10 moralities. It's the plain old 10 moralities that make Tantra work. It's the plain old 10 moralities that make it Buddha. It's the plain old 10 moralities that give you all the beautiful results that you ever wanted. Okay? Not very popular to say that, but it's true. And it just makes you happy. And you just keep it. Okay, Dua. Shiva. So Shiva refers obviously to the second of the trainings. So let's see what he states.
You said Levasum was
Lapasum. Lapasum is the word in Tibetan for it. You don't have to know it. It's for the 3 trainings. The 3 trainings are morality, and the second one is concentration.
Are these 3 trainings for a teacher or for anyone?
The 3 trainings are for anyone. But the first quality of a good Lama refers specifically to the first training. He should have good morality. And it's the plain old 10 moralities up there. He doesn't hurt people with his body. He doesn't lie. He doesn't try to split up people with his speech. He doesn't have weird ideas that will hurt people. He doesn't dislike other people. Plain old morality. Dua. Shiva. Okay? Shiva means peaceful. It refers to the second training. Anybody know what it is? Second training? I mentioned that right. I wasn't having something to do. And so Kaba makes an interesting point. He says, the word Shiva refers to his ability to keep his awareness and his mental guard up so that he can keep his morality. Okay, so he's not talking about regular concentration here. So Kaba is explaining to you that you want a teacher who has mindfulness. Okay? He doesn't forget to keep his morality and suddenly lie and then say later, oh, I shouldn't have lied, Okay? He has the concentrative ability. Concentration here doesn't mean keeping your mind on a visualization. It means keeping your mind on what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking, so that you don't break your morality.
Can you repeat some composition?
Yeah.
Ability to...
He says the word Shiva here refers to the ability within your mind to use recollection and awareness to do the good deeds that are mentioned under the Dua and to avoid the bad deeds that are the opposite. That's exactly what he says in Tibetan. So it's the ability to keep your mind on what you're saying and what you're thinking and what you're doing. That's what concentration means in this case. That's what Shiva means in this case.
This is also from the Lamrim Chandra?
All the explanations tonight will come from the Lamrim Chandra. And it's all of this verse. Okay. Nyer Shiva refers to the third training. Nyer Shiva refers to the third training. Okay? The third training is what?
Exceptional
Wisdom. Okay? Exceptional wisdom. wisdom. So Kappa says the word very peaceful, exceptional peace, he says, refers to the ability to analyze all objects using that special kind of concentration called shine, shamatha, and quietude, which makes his mind especially. How would you translate lesuruma? It's the lesuruma in Leru. Leru literally means
approaching.
It means
accumulating.
It means if you work out all day,
making fit.
Yeah, it's like fit. It means you've worked out all day, and then if someone says, "Okay, can you help me carry this box?" You're already lesuruma.
Broken in.
Ruma means fit. Le means for the work. Fit for the work.
Suitable to the task.
Like that.
So can you say the whole thing?
Yeah, I'll say it again. The word near Shiva in this verse, he says, refers to the training of wisdom, where that Lama utilizes that perfect concentration called shamatha to investigate reality. He has that ability. Yeah. He says, near Shiva, I'm changing the recovery.
Keep writing.
It refers to that special ability of concentration called shamatha. I'm sorry, it refers to the training of wisdom where that Lama uses that special concentration called shamatha to investigate reality.
What does that mean?
It means that the ability to concentrate here, what we call shamatha, is a tool. You could use it for anything. You can get shamatha towards meditating that there's a horn on your head. It's a neutral object. You can get shamatha. You can develop perfect concentration. You can have a perfect visualization of a horn on your head. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't hurt anything. It's just neutral. But if you aim that same concentration at the most virtuous object of all, emptiness, then you can finish all your suffering. You can stop suffering, all of your suffering. So this Lama has that ability. He has that perfect concentration, and he aims it at reality, at ultimate reality.
Even though the last number was no lie on that unless someone develops shamatha, that means karma binding, you will never be able to develop any mental power. That means with shamatha comes also clairvoyance and reading other people.
We consider those minor results.
Yeah.
You can. You can read other people's minds. You can. But this refers specifically to wisdom, the training of wisdom. He uses that. My boss has shamatha, right? Oprah has it. He has it. He won't eat. He won't sleep. I mean, he can work. We were with him in Japan. He worked like 22 hours straight. We all died. And he was eating sugar cubes and chewing sugar cubes, and his concentration is just, like that. And that's for like 12, 15 years. But the object is meaningless. This is where that concentration is aimed at. What is emptiness? What is true reality? Ultimate reality?
I go to shamatha.
Shamatha is only the ability to concentrate. That ultimate ability to concentrate. Which is aimed at emptiness.
So this is specifically saying not just all objects. Well, all objects of wisdom specifically to include.
Yeah, he says, Yangdape Dunla Sosoche. That's a code word. Yangdape Dun means the pure object, meaning emptiness. Sosoche means to analyze. And you'll learn that in year number 3.
So how does that fit into your translation? Perfect. Where does the perfect?
I just added that. No. The concentration is perfect. But I just called it emptiness. I didn't call it the pure object.
You're saying that they're applying perfect concentration to investigate reality.
Right. That's it.
So does this imply if a teacher has attained the ninth stage of shamatha that they're not a qualified teacher?
Right. We'll talk about that, yes. That'll be the last sentence.
Just take the last part of the sentence. Training of the that's allowed to utilize special concentration called shamatha
To investigate ultimate reality.
to investigate
Ultimate reality.
When it's to investigate, that'll be an analytical meditation. And
It
concentrating on
comes in two types. One is, we will spend years on it, don't we?
the briefing one is
It comes in conceptual, which are the preliminary ways of understanding emptiness, in a class, intellectually, and then direct, which is also called sosoche, which is also called an examination of reality.
So we might as well finish this off then and ask, is it just plain saying that the guy has to have, or gal has to be able to have perceived emptiness?
Basically.
So a real teacher is someone who has attained the perception of emptiness.
Yeah, direct perception.
it's not at the first level of the
Yeah, first one is after tongue level, apathy.
Has to be somebody who's already achieved to be a qualified teacher.
Does it say that? I mean,
On the way there, using shamatha to head in the right direction, or let's just...
no, it's not necessary, because you can use shamatha to investigate ultimate reality before you perceive emptiness.
But shamatha
Has to have so you have to have one of the two realizations, the conceptual...
Yeah, he does have conception.
Right.
That's a minimum.
Right. So not necessarily the direct perception.
He doesn't say that. Yeah.
Because that would cut out a lot of people.
Yep.
So how can you ever know this about your teacher?
Ask him.
How do you ask somebody that, Michael? In private?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. It's a good question. I mean, obviously it's a good question. Well, suppose he claims to have reached that and has not. And they say that many people who reach it will never say they have. We'll talk about that.
It seems backwards, doesn't it?
This is still in your book. It's now on page 9, line 3.
transliteration here?
It's a pronunciation. It's a simplified pronunciation.
Okay. But I mean, is this, if we follow this, is it going to correlate to any of
It's
your...
the closest sound you can make in English to that sound.
I understand that, but is this a structure? Is this your own, or is this like, is this recognized?
Oh, there's like 20 different systems.
Right, so
Mine is the best.
So in other words, if I disagree slightly, I could write something a little bit different.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I encourage people to write what they hear.
Right.
Because you might hear it differently than I do. Okay, so please say Yunden.
Yunden.
Papa. Sunche.
Sunche.
Lungi.
Lungi.
Chu.
Chu.
So Tsongkhapa says, Lamrim Chamo, a person who has basically tamed his own mental continuum with those three trainings that I just mentioned, okay, he would then only have the good qualities, which is what Yundan means. Yundan means good qualities that refer to realization, that are mental, what you have understood, what you have realized. We call Tope Yundan. Tope Yundan means, there's two kinds of Yundans. Tope Yundan and Lungi Yundan. There's two kinds of dharmas. Tope Che and Lungi Che. The Tope Che is dharma as it exists in the minds of living people. That's the dharma. What do you think Lungi Che means? What's the other kind of dharma? Yeah. Dharma as it exists in books, the teachings, the word. Okay? There's two kinds of dharma. The Abhidharma, in the closing pages of the Abhidharma Kosha, after you've had like 8 years of suffering studying it, at the end it says, it predicts how long Dharma will stay in the world. And it says, the Tope Yundan, Tope Che will die first. You know, the books will die later. Books will disappear later. But first, for example, morality will die out in the world. As a Buddhist morality will die out, Buddhist concentration will die out, Buddhist wisdom will die out. So the Dharma as it exists in your mind will die out first. And then the books will die out. You know, it means that there'll still be libraries that have these books that people will look at and say they don't know what they mean, and nobody will have those good qualities. So what Tsongkhapa says here is, everything I said before referred to Topecha, Dharma as it exists in people's minds. But your teacher should also have Lung. Okay? Lung. And you guys know what a Lung is, right? I mean, you've been to Lungs, right? What's a Lung? A Lung is a word for initiation, but it means a transmission. What it means is the word, capital W. A Lama sits with a book, like Lam Tosum, those 14 verses, and he just reads it to you out loud, and that puts a blessing in your mouth. And we're going to try to get Ken Rinpoche to come here and give a loom for Lam Sonamsum before the class is over. We're going to try to get him to come and give a talk about it, to give a loom. He heard it from his teacher, he heard it from Pavoka. Yeah, from the original Pavoka. So that's great. I should say Pavoka. So, Lung means a word, Dharma, scripture, the books. Lung. Chuk has two meanings. One is big mistake, and that's not what it means here. The other meaning is rich. Rich. Chupu chupu do means, hey, he's a fat cat, let's hit him up in the mouth. We do that all the time. Lungi chu.
The E is what?
Lungi chu. By. Rich in scriptural knowledge.
What was the other meaning?
It means a terrible error, like a huge mistake. The one place it occurs in Scripture, the other meaning, is what happens with all your future lives if you trust yourself to a bad teacher. It's that truth, it's that total, terrible error, fatal error. So Lungi Chu means rich in Scripture. He knows his stuff. He knows the books. It's not enough that he knows morality, and he has morality, he has concentration, he has wisdom, he has to know his stuff. Hopefully you'll be Lungi Chu by the time you finish 5 years. Minimum.
So then a whole phrase then,
we didn't get to it yet. He's working backwards. Probably the Sanskrit was a different one. But we have finished Lungi Chu. Okay, how many qualities we got so far?
2.
Yeah, 3. Who said 2? Who said 3? 4. We got 4. We got 4. We got the 3 trainings, which are the mental qualities of your Lama. And now we got his course, is a mental quality also, is knowledge of the books. So he has to have morality. He has the concentration to keep his morality. He has wisdom, which understands emptiness. And he knows his stuff about Scripture. Okay, he's not just telling you what he thinks. Okay, it's very important that someone is using the original Scriptures. Now,
two things. Is this referring to a direct lineage to the Buddha as well?
Sure. We'll talk about that. That's next class.
And then the other thing, briefly, but you keep mentioning what happens when you're with a bad teacher and so forth. And if a person has great, deep faith, and they're with a bad teacher, and their motivation is really pure and everything, don't they get a benefit out of that anyway? The old famous example of the people diving on the trident and so forth.
They say, in answer to that, you will study it, and if I didn't have this up on the computer, I could call that up. There's this quotation in the Abhidhamma Kosha, and it says the people who... It says the best non-Buddhist religion is... What was it? The people who commit suicide thinking that's a spiritual path, because at least they want to get out of suffering. It even says that from the standpoint of motivation, they have committed a virtue. And from the standpoint of the action, they committed a horrible non-virtue. But, yeah, but isn't it better to have a good motivation and a good teacher at the same time?
Yes.
I'm looking for the next
Still doesn't unlock that.
Did you tell us what block club was?
Not yet.
And the quotation from Kappa was rather lengthy.
No, he just said that. He said it's not enough that your teacher has those qualities, those personal qualities of morality, concentration, and wisdom. He has to have the scriptural knowledge also, which refers to the physical Dharma and not to the mental Dharma. It's not enough that he has the Dharma in his mind. He has to have the Dharma in his hands. He has to be able to show you, look, this is a quotation from this book. It's not my own idea.
So you can paraphrase the rest of it, but they must be rich in book Dharma.
Yeah. But this is not giving you a good idea what to look for. Okay? In general, the books were written by real-life people. If you read the Abhidhamma Kosha, I worked on it for 10 years. I had no idea for the first 2 years what it was talking about. And I was very frustrated. And then at the end I said, it was written by the first Dalai Lama, the commentary. And I said, who could think of that? Who could describe 35 stages of the path of seeing? Who could describe the 37 qualities of Buddha? The 108 this and the 208 this. Who could spend that long in meditation to divide it into 100 different types, And I've never even... how could I translate it? I don't even understand what it is. I don't understand the first level of it. So, you have to go back to those books. It's not good to have a Lama who says, I have this new idea, this is my idea, we don't need it.
So this knocks out terrorism?
You have to be careful with dharmas. There are real dharmas. There are probably bullshit dharmas. I don't know. Okay? Dharma means like hidden teaching. You look under a rock and you find a book. It's possible. It's possible. And it's possible that the opposite happens. But I'm just talking, again, it's in the case. Don't look for the abnormal. Maybe it's possible that through the abnormal somebody gets a good result. But everyone gets a good result through the normal.
It seems like in some traditions, dharmas are the normal.
We're going to do this one, then we're going to take a tea break. Deni Raptapova. We're skipping to the beginning of the next line, and he'll go back to that line. I'm sorry. Deni means thusness. 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 Yeah. But don't be shy, okay? If you have a question, just ask.
way too without dust.
It's not an English word. It's like a very strange English word. It means emptiness. It's another word for emptiness. Yeah, that's okay too.
The same word, sound, thus.
Suchness?
You can say that. You can suchness probably sounds better.
Yes, suchness.
It's okay. Yeah, I translate it. Suchness is okay. Literally, it's thusness. Okay.
That means emptiness. Why would it be unsuchness? Non-suchness.
Raptu topa means, raptu means really, topa means realize. It means to fully realize suchness is better.
So this is fine.
Actually, no, it's actually dustman. Anyway. No, there's another word for such. This happens to be, it means just that. The very that.
Just that.
The very, yeah. Raptu means very much, topa means to realize.
Really realize emptiness.
Totally realize emptiness. Okay, if you want it easy, say totally realize emptiness. Totally realize emptiness. Now let's see what Tsongkhapa says. Jet Tsongkhapa. He says the word Deini Topa refers to a person who has the perfection of wisdom to a very exceptional degree.
Exceptional what?
I'm sorry, the training of wisdom to a very high degree. He not only has the training of wisdom, but he has it to a very, very high degree.
Training wisdom and emptiness.
Right. No. What we just spoke about training wisdom, he uses that special concentration to analyze reality. Basically, he says here, and I'm paraphrasing it, he has perceived emptiness directly. And that's Tom had made, so now Tom's point is well taken. He said, well, did that other one mean that he perceived emptiness directly? And I said, well, it could, but it didn't have to. And now he says, he has perceived emptiness directly. No, you see emptiness directly before you reach Buddha. Then he says,
Then what's the difference between Nirshīva and
good point, okay. I would say this is just a higher stage of perception of emptiness. Before he was analyzing reality.
Kind of analytical realization.
But that can also refer to direct perception. Before it was the general training of wisdom. By the way, you don't have to achieve the lowest path to have the training of wisdom. You can have the training of wisdom and not achieve the lowest of the five paths, which we're not going to talk about. Okay. You can say that the first one, Vilma, refers more to an understanding of emptiness and an ability to analyze emptiness, but now it's that he's seeing it directly, ability to see it directly. And then Jason Kappa says, and even if he doesn't have that direct perception of emptiness, they say, he says, meaning there are good books that say he can only have perceived emptiness through logic and through his scriptural understanding. Okay, so it does not have to be direct. He just has a special understanding of emptiness, more special than the one we talked about before. And he either sees it directly, or some good books say it's enough that he has understood emptiness very well using reasoning, and scripture.
Which is the intellectual, the first of the two understandings. Which has to come before the second understanding.
Yeah. So basically, he has either seen it directly, where he has a very, very good intellectual understanding of it. Fifth was rich in scripture.
We were going to talk about
I'm sorry, fifth was...
and order of scripture.
So the order is that.
Five is totally realized emptiness.
One of the
High
others,
realization.
right?
High realization.
What's that?
At least totally realize the first level. It's not the.
No, not even the first level. He even said, it's okay if he just has a good intellectual.
So not even he's close to realizing the first level.
Well, it says he has direct, and then Jetson Copper says, and some good books also say that if he doesn't have a direct, it's good enough if he has a high intellectual understanding.
Can you repeat my book, please?
I'm sleeping here. I don't know. Morality, concentration on his morality, according to Jetson Copper. The training of wisdom, which you can have at a pretty preliminary stage. And then he knows the books. He's very good at scripture. And he has a high realization of emptiness. Very good understanding of emptiness. Either direct understanding, which is very difficult, or a very high intellectual understanding, which is also difficult. Okay. Now the next quality that Jetson Copper mentions is Yundan Hakpa. Now he's going to go back, okay? Why is he doing it out of order? Maybe the Sanskrit goes back. Remember, this is a translation from Sanskrit. This is the Tibetan version of the Sanskrit original. The book was written in Sanskrit. Yundan Hakpa. Yundan means good quality. Good qualities. Examples of Yundans are, knowledge, concentration, morality. Hakpa means special, highest, exceeding, you can say. Special, exceeding, special good qualities.
Yundan is good quality.
Yeah. It's a common Tibetan name, by the way, Yundan. Yundan. Alright. And so Jetson Copper says, he's doing it at night. He says, even if a person has those mental good qualities, which were the first three, or first four, first three and number 5 were realizations. Number 4 was just knowledge of books. He says, even if a person has qualities like that, if he's less or only equal to his student in those qualities, it doesn't help. He's got to be over. Hakpa means his knowledge has to exceed that of his student. He doesn't. When I used to play tennis when I was a kid, and my coach would tell me, I don't allow you to play tennis with someone who's worse than you or someone who's as good as you. You always have to play with someone better. He wouldn't allow us to play with anyone who was worse or better or the same. We had to play with someone who beat us up. That way we learn. So Yundan Hakpa means that the teacher should, whatever he's teaching you, he should know better than you, supposedly. Okay?
Does that mean just in the knowledge or in all the qualities?
All the qualities.
All the qualities.
Yeah. And then he quotes another book called the Collection on Lamas, and it says, you don't have to write this down, but the book says, if you go to a teacher who is less than you, you'll, what do you call it? You'll decline. You'll go down. If you go to a teacher who's your equal, you'll just stay the same way. If you go to a teacher who is over you on those things, you'll achieve the highest goal. Therefore, try to find a teacher who knows more about it than you do. Okay, that's what it is. This is a beautiful point. So Jetson Copper says, now I have finished how many qualities? 6. Those refer to qualities about the teacher's own person, about the teacher himself. Now what do you guess the other 4 are going to refer to?
What the teacher has to say, or teach.
How can he lead other people? He says here, the remaining four refer to qualities by which that teacher helps other people or leads other people.
Excuse me, Michael, have we done that?
No, we have not. Good question. He quotes a very famous scripture, which I've seen quoted by the first Imam also. You don't have to write it down, but just listen to it. The Buddhas do not clean away your bad deeds with water. They do not wave their hands over your head and your suffering is removed. The only way that they can free you is by teaching you the Dharma, which they themselves... Oh, and it says that they also can't move their understanding to your mind without saying anything. The only way they can lead you, the only way they can free you is by teaching you the truth. Okay, that's a famous quotation. They can't wash away your bad deeds with water. They can't, yeah. They can't. The only thing that a Buddha can do for you, it's very famous, in Tantra it's very famous, the only thing he can do is teach you. The only way he can communicate with you is normally by teaching. Yeah. It's part of the proof for your teacher being the Buddha himself. But that's another story.
So what is it with them, with these teachers that tear the curtain in front of the student's eyes so that they can suddenly perceive?
Well, it's possible that the Buddha, this is also Dharma teaching, and it's in the books.
But isn't that contrary to what you just said?
Well, what it means is basically that the Buddha has to relate to you. And normally relating you means teaching you. It's the only way he can help you is to interact with you at some point. You are in this realm, and the realm of enlightenment is over there, and the only person between you and that, the only person who can take you there is someone who can talk to you and make you understand something. That's it.
And yet with these other teachers seem
very rare, very unusual.
That could be somebody that the straw that broke the camel's back. Somebody who's so ripe ready to fall off the tree.
It is explained like that. There's a thing called a Rangsangye, Prateka Buddha, which means someone who, without a teacher in this life, suddenly he achieves nirvana. The explanation in Buddhism is that he had 100,000 teachers before.
Well, no, I was thinking more of the case where the teacher goes to the student, touch their foreheads together, and the student gets the boom.
No, if it could happen, I tell you this, and it's absolute truth. If you could do that and save a person's soul, okay, then obviously the Buddhas would have done it a long time ago. We would not be here. If there's something physical I could do to you, if there's anything beyond teaching you at your own level that I could do for you to get you out of suffering, of course they would have done it a long time ago.
So what does it mean, like what Soga Rinpoche and others write about how their teacher, took them and hugged them and gave them, they got an immediate transmission as a result of that?
Oh, it's possible if there's a special relationship between them, there's been for many lifetimes. It's possible. But it's not normal. It's not for, we need understanding.
Well, you're talking about people on our level. It is certainly possible, I would imagine, the higher you go, to be able to communicate with Buddhas like you did some Kabbalists, for instance, by seeing them or having them in your mind and explaining to you directly like that, right? This could be a form of that. They're very high beings in already.
Okay, now we have to go to... He's going to talk about 4 qualities that a person has for communicating, teaching other people Dharma. Okay, I need the text. You want to read it?
Oh, yeah.
This is the English translation.
We're still on page 9. That's a 9.
It's supposed to be right next to the telephone like that?
Yes.
Or it's part of it? Or
Yes.
So it's just talking about one. I'm not sure why you're in that.
you want to connect it?
It is, yeah, it's another line.
Okay.
How many lines of the verse have we covered, by the way? Most verses have 4 lines. We're on the 3rd. We just finished the 3rd line. We got 1 more line to go. Okay, about Ma Ke Din. Ma means to speak or to teach. K, I think you know. Do you know Keba? Keba means wise or skilled. Wise or skilled. Master. And then it just means he has that quality. He has the quality of being a master teacher. Okay? He has then the quality of being a master teacher. So Jetsun Kappa says, Ma Keba ni jiga tewe rumala keshin dunduwe lola kyawala soa means the expression master teacher means he knows the right order in which to give you the teachings, and he gives it to your capacity. He knows what to teach you, so he teaches you the right thing at the right time, and he teaches it to you at the right quantity at the right time. Okay.
So what is the master?
Ma means to teach, to talk. Okay. So it refers to two things. He knows the right order for you in which to teach the thing. He's a good teacher, and he knows what you can handle. He knows, he understands your capacity, and he teaches you to your capacity.
Are we within those bounds now?
I knew somebody would say that.
I didn't say.
I knew somebody. Okay.
What happens when
If you keep up at this level for 5 years, we can finish in 5 years. We can finish in 5 years. A skeleton. I mean, we're skipping 50 seconds. That's the slowest we can go. Don't worry, just hang in. Don't worry. And it's real stuff, it's not fluff. Fluff is easier. I could fluff you and you go home happy and...
Now we don't go home happy, but... so we come back.
Michael, you were raised still. Lock parts, weren't you?
She's still with it.
I do too.
We'll come back. We'll get there, don't worry.
Okay.
Lock parts.
Well, we got the class. Special teaching qualities. Qualities that were special or higher than your own. Right. Or higher than yours. Wakfa is special qualities or, higher than yours. Teachers is better than yours.
Sewa, which is connected to the other word with this Y. Sewa, which is the real word. Sewa means love. Love. Love is the best translation. There's many, many words in Buddhism for love, compassion, mercy, loving kindness. It's a wonderful language. It's got all these beautiful words.
What language were you?
Tibet. That's it. But Sewa is exactly love. Dagni means the embodiment of love. I mean, it literally means the person. Incarnate, yeah. I mean,
love incarnate.
He is love. The embodiment of love. And Jetsun Kappa says, Sewa ni, the word Sewa, refers to a person who teaches because he is motivated by love and compassion, and not out of a desire for gain or fame or respect of others.
What is Dagni?
Dagni means the whole person is love, just 100% love. Okay? It's difficult in English. We have some English words, but don't worry about it. You don't need to know that. It just means every part of him has love. Every part of him has love. And specifically, he's teaching out of concern for you and not out of anything that he's going to get. His motivation is not that you're going to like him or that you're going to respect him or that you're going to give him something. He's just doing it for you. That's what the love means. His motivation is not that you're going to like him or that you're going to respect him or that you're going to give him something. He's just doing it for you. That's what the love means. Oh, guess what's next? Friend.
Finally.
We're back to the Sensei, okay? Do you remember the Sensei we had in the last line? I didn't write it down. It was in the second line? It was in the second line. We had a Sensei. Everybody find it? I already erased it. It was in the second line. You have it already. No, it was in, I have put it on the board already.
Yeah.
Second line of Tibetan, fourth line of the explanation. Fourth reason or fourth audience.
It came above. But you don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to know the Tibetan. You just have to know the English. For the homework and quiz, you just have to know the... And I've given you like 3 different words for each Tibetan word. You just choose one that you like. And that it gives the meaning.
You don't want us to write this in phonetic
Not in
Tibetan?
phonetics, no.
We don't have to?
No, you don't
I
have to.
didn't know that.
English Chinese.
Helpful.
Okay. Sun means effort. Okay. Sun means effort. The 4th paramita is called Sunja also. Okay. That's the Sun and Sunja. Che means, this is not the Che that means big, it's the Che that means he has. He has good effort. He tries hard.
Is that referring to the fourth paramita?
No.
It's not. It's not the same thing that the paramita is talking about.
Well, I'm going to explain it right now.
Okay.
The classic presentation of the 6 paramitas is really the Bodhicharya, which you will study. It's a great, great book. It's worth it just to do the 5 years to hear that. The 4th chapter starts out with the line Sunkan Gelak. It means, what is the definition of effort? It is to delight in doing good things. Nothing to do with trying hard. Nothing to do with sweat. Nothing to do with, being busy. It's just to enjoy doing good things. To take joy in doing good. That's effort. That is what the 4th perfection is. Joy.
And this is different.
Joy. Now this joy, this sun, means Shengi Dunla Doa Temba. It means that this person has, that Lama, has a very deep-rooted joy in working for others.
It's number 9.
I forgot what
Yes, we're on number 9.
Yeah. No, it's not.
9.
And this is Jeremiah again?
Yeah, that's all he says.
It's a very deep-rooted joy.
Try hard.
He does not mean try hard. It means he loves to help other people. And that love is firm. He says temba. He's not going to change. It's not like, I'd like to help you today, but tomorrow I don't like to help you.
Number 8 though, isn't that like...
I don't remember.
And number 8 it means he loves to help people.
Right.
And number 9, what is number 9?
8 is like
The embodiment of love.
No, number 8 is, why does he teach? Is it because he loves you? Or is it because he wants you to like him? Or he wants you to give him some money?
He doesn't want things in return.
Right. He doesn't want to become a
That's number
big
8.
lama, big famous lama, thousands of students.
That's right.
And what is the number 9?
Number 9 is, he likes to help other people.
Now that sounds like the fourth
similar.
paramita.
Oh, sure. But there are other kinds of 4th paramitas which are not Shengi Dunla Doa Tembo, although it's mostly that.
I mean, it sounds like this is referring to that.
Not specific. If it were, you would have seen the other 5 somewhere. You see, that's the way Tibetan stuff works.
Okay, but I mean, isn't it natural that the paramitas might show themselves in some of these things?
Yes, Jimba never appears. But we'll get, don't worry. Okay, last Last part. And then you can go home.
Why you didn't give us the Tibetans like for the last?
I did already, but I erased it. It was in the second line I gave it.
Oh, okay, thanks. This one, you said, that was in the line.
Michael, I suppose TTPS is not really useful. You should compare the Colorado one. Does the Colorado program available on Windows form yet?
And it's all messed up. They had a fight. We don't like each other, and they're not developing.
I mean, so to do your notes on a computer with Tibetan, you probably pretty much need that program.
That would be the best, but there's other ones.
Sunche, is that just effort or is it something more?
So the Che means he has. Okay, please say Gyoa. Gyoa Bang. Okay, here's what Jetson Kappa says. Gyoa Bang means, by the way, Gyoa means to be fed up with something or disgusted. Okay, tired. It comes in the Tundu kind of. Yeah, and we'll talk about it. Gyoa Bang means got rid of it. Got rid of it. Doesn't have it.
Which is which?
Gyoa means disgust or tired, and Bang means got rid of it. Got rid of Gyoa.
Got rid of the disgust?
Yeah. Or being tired. And I'll explain to you what it means. Gyoa means like, you don't want to do something and somebody says do it and you go, that's Gyoa.
Like,
yeah, it means that. Yeah.
I've heard that a lot.
Tired, man. I don't think about food tonight.
I don't know.
Gyoa Bamani, Jetson Kappa says, Yang Yang Chepe Mingyawa. He does not get tired if he has to explain something over and over again.
Which is good if I'm around.
I.e., he says, he can practice patience with the difficult task of teaching.
And another paramita.
Okay, so the teacher should have those 10 qualities. I mean, you should check, and you should try to find out. You should not go to a teacher, any old teacher who's giving some initiation, or you never heard of him, or check him out. Talk to his students, talk to people who know him, read what he's written, find out if he has those qualities. Now, the Lam Rim has a famous sentence in it. It says, well, if you had to go look for one like that, maybe you wouldn't find anybody. So, you're stuck with what you can get. Whoever says that. But at least check. Or at least try. I'm serious. I mean, it's not so much that I have great faults, and my faults will hurt you. The fact that I still have some very bad habits. And I do, and some dirty habits.
Can you tell us about
We got 5 years.
No, I have weaknesses. I have kinds of desire, and I have kinds of anger, mostly desire. I have those things, and whatever faults I have will infect this class. And I admit them. I have them. And I have the good luck to have studied a lot. So I mean, I'm mainly just admitting them, and you have to be careful. But even more dangerous is if someone, at least I can teach you what's right. I'm not perfect myself. I have not been able to do it well as I would like to. But what I'm saying is, watch out for someone who's teaching you something very dangerous, or someone who will hurt you. I will hurt you because I'm not perfect. But someone else may hurt you because they really don't know the stuff, and they're actually teaching you something that will hurt you. And your real estate, your mental real estate, and your spiritual real estate is very precious. And if someone makes it dirty, it's very hard to clean. So it just means be careful. These are the qualities you should check. These are the things he should have.
Perhaps they could have added an 11th one that says, and if the teacher doesn't have all these above, at least if they admit it.
So, the question that was asked earlier was, how can you tell on a lot of these things with your mental concepts and
Yeah. How do you tell? It's very difficult. I mean, how do you know if the person understands emptiness? One thing to do is study some emptiness yourself, and then go hear how he explains it. If he's explaining emptiness in any manner, like, nothing, or everything's just the way you think it is, you can do anything you want, nothing matters, that's just your, just your idea, If they're not talking about, the big test for understanding emptiness, are they talking about karma? If emptiness proves karma, karma proves emptiness. They're not talking about morality. The same moment that they're talking about emptiness, they do not understand emptiness. And they're not leading you the right way. If the day that you really understand emptiness, you will want to be good. And plain old good. Plain old Ken morality.
and scriptural understanding and stuff like that?
That you can check. Say, look, what are you teaching? Are you teaching something from the Kanya and the Tengyur? The Buddha's own word, which is the Kanya, and the commentaries on it are pure, period. And if you can teach that, that's good. He says, well, you don't need that. I got this direct, say, well, I don't know.